In the annals of television history, no program has occupied the cultural zeitgeist quite like The Simpsons. Since its debut in 1989, the yellow-hued inhabitants of Springfield have done more than provide satirical commentary on the American family. They have seemingly functioned as a high-fidelity radar for the future. In 2025, the show's legacy has shifted from mere entertainment to a source of genuine sociological unease. The show famously depicted Donald Trump as President of the United States 16 years before he took the oath of office, a prediction so specific it felt less like a guess and more like a leak from a parallel timeline. They foresaw the advent of smartwatches, the ubiquity of video calls, and even pinpointed specific sporting upsets with surgical precision. However, as we stand on the precipice of 2026, the laughter is beginning to fade, replaced by a chilling realization. Recent episodes and long-buried subplots from the 90s are beginning to align with modern headlines regarding AI autonomy, global economic fragility, and societal fragmentation. While the show's creators consistently maintain that these predictions are simply the result of smart writing and the laws of probability, the sheer volume of coincidences suggests a much deeper connection to the unfolding reality of our world. To understand where we are going, we must look at the blueprint Matt Groening and his team have been drawing for over 3 decades. Long before the global food supply chain became a frequent topic of anxiety, The Simpsons poked fun at the dubious quality of institutional dining. In the 1994 episode, Sweet Seymour Skinner's Badass Song, viewers were treated to a brief, grotesque visual gag involving lunch lady Doris. As she prepared the day's meal, she was seen reaching into a massive industrial barrel labeled assorted horse parts, now with more testicles. At the time, this was dismissed as a hyperbolic joke about the lack of funding in public schools. Yet, nearly 20 years later, in 2013, the humor evaporated. A massive food scandal erupted across Europe when DNA testing revealed that products labeled as 100% beef, including frozen burgers and lasagnas, contained significant amounts of horse meat. In some cases, the beef was entirely horse. The BBC and other major news outlets covered the fallout as millions of products were pulled from shelves in the UK, Ireland, and France. The Springfield joke had become a multi-billion-dollar international crisis, proving that the show's writers had a keen eye for the corners where corporate greed and regulatory failure meet. In 1990, the episode 2 Cars in Every Garage and 3 Eyes on Every Fish introduced the world to Blinky, a bright orange fish with a third eye caught by Bart near the Springfield nuclear power plant. Blinky became a localized symbol of environmental decay and the dangers of poorly managed nuclear energy. The world laughed at the absurdity of a 3-eyed fish, assuming such a mutation was the stuff of pure science fiction. However, reality caught up in 2011. A fisherman in Argentina, casting his line in a reservoir near a nuclear facility in Cordoba, pulled up a specimen that looked hauntingly like its cartoon counterpart, a real-life 3-eyed wolffish. This wasn't an isolated incident. Similar reports surfaced in Brooklyn's Gowanus Canal and lakes in New York State. While marine biologists noted that mutations can occur due to various environmental stressors, the specific link between nuclear proximity and a 3-eyed phenotype was a prediction that turned a funny fish into a grim environmental warning. Before the iPhone revolutionized communication, the 1994 episode Lisa on Ice featured a subtle but brilliant jab at early technology. The bully, Kearney, uses an Apple Newton, a real-life ill-fated digital assistant released in 1993, to write a reminder. He scrawls, "Beat up Martin," but the device's primitive handwriting recognition interprets the input as "Eat up Martha." This joke didn't just predict a technical glitch, it predicted a fundamental shift in human communication. By the 2010s, autocorrect fails became a staple of internet culture as smartphones began changing serious sentiments into nonsensical and often embarrassing phrases. Interestingly, the connection is literal. Apple engineers later admitted that the "Eat Up Martha" joke was a benchmark during the development of the iPhone's keyboard. They used the failure of the Newton as a cautionary tale to ensure their autocorrect didn't become a worldwide laughingstock, though, as anyone who has ever had a curse word changed to ducking knows, the battle is far from won. In 1990's Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, the show tackled the complexities of censorship. When Marge leads a crusade against cartoon violence, the movement spirals out of control, leading townspeople to demand that a touring copy of Michelangelo's David be covered up with pants to hide its nudity. Marge, an artist herself, is forced to realize the danger of the slippery slope of censorship. Fast forward to 2016 in St. Petersburg, Russia. A replica of the David statue was installed in the city center, prompting a local woman to launch a formal petition and moral crusade to have the statue's nudity covered. Just as in Springfield, the debate turned into a public spectacle, with citizens voting on whether the art was obscene or educational. The show managed to predict not just a specific event, but a recurring psychological pattern in human society: the urge to sanitize history and art to fit contemporary sensibilities. On Valentine's Day in 2010, the episode Boy Meets Curl depicted Homer and Marge competing for Team USA in the Vancouver Winter Olympics. In a stunning upset, the American mixed doubles team defeated Sweden to take the gold medal. At the time, the US was a non-entity in the curling world, having only a single bronze medal to their name from 2006. The prediction lay dormant for 8 years. Then, at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, the US men's curling team, who had been massive underdogs throughout the tournament, performed the impossible. They surged through the brackets and, in an eerily familiar finale, defeated Sweden to claim the gold medal. The writers claimed they chose curling because of its niche status, but the specific matchup and the unlikely victory left fans wondering if the show was actually written by time travelers. In March 2014, You Don't Have to Live Like a Referee saw Homer recruited as a World Cup ref because of his supposed honesty. The episode portrayed FIFA, though unnamed, as a hive of corruption, with officials literally being arrested on the pitch for bribery and money laundering. Only 1 year later, in May 2015, the real-world FIFA scandal broke. The FBI and IRS descended upon a luxury hotel in Zurich, arresting top-tier officials in a massive racketeering and money laundering case. The imagery of high-ranking football officials being led away in handcuffs mirrored the cartoon's aesthetic perfectly. Furthermore, the episode predicted Germany's 2014 World Cup win. While the show depicted Germany beating Brazil in the final, in reality they beat Argentina after thrashing Brazil 7-1 in the semifinals. The overarching theme of German dominance and organizational corruption was a double strike of predictive power. In 2012, a blink and you'll miss it news ticker during Politically Inept with Homer Simpson read, "Europe puts Greece on eBay." It was a dark joke about the Eurozone crisis. By 2015, Greece became the first developed nation to default on a debt to the International Monetary Fund. While the country wasn't literally sold on an auction site, the austerity measures imposed by European lenders felt like a liquidation sale of the nation's future. The show managed to condense years of complex geopolitical struggle into a single, devastatingly accurate sentence 3 years before the default occurred. Perhaps the most intellectually shocking prediction occurred in 1998 during The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace. Homer, trying to become an inventor, scribbles a complex equation on a chalkboard. In 2012, when the Higgs boson, the God particle, was finally discovered at CERN, physicists noted that Homer's random numbers actually produced a mass nearly identical to the real-life particle. This wasn't just luck. Writer David X. Cohen had a background in physics. However, the fact that a cartoon father calculated the weight of the universe's most elusive particle 14 years before the world's most expensive machine could find it remains a high watermark for the show's impossible accuracy. In 2012, Lisa Goes Gaga showed the pop star flying into Springfield on a harness suspended over the audience in a metallic outfit. In 2017, Lady Gaga's Super Bowl LI halftime show featured an almost identical entrance descending from the stadium roof on cables, clad in silver. While aerial stunts aren't new, the visual choreography and the specific celebrity involved made it feel as though Gaga had used the 2012 episode as her literal storyboard. The Simpsons movie, 2007, contained a scene where the family, while on a train, discusses the impossibility of the government listening to everyone. The camera then zooms out to a vast NSA listening room where thousands of agents are doing exactly that. This was 6 years before Edward Snowden leaked the truth about the PRISM program and mass surveillance. The movie turned a conspiracy theory into a punchline that eventually became a global news headline, proving that the writers understood the trajectory of the surveillance state long before the public did. In January 2006, the episode Homer's Paternity Coot featured Homer and his long-lost father diving to a shipwreck in tiny individual submarines. During the dive, Homer's sub gets stuck in coral and his oxygen supply begins to dwindle to zero. Fast forward 17 years to June 2023, the OceanGate Titan submarine went missing during a dive to the Titanic. The world watched as the oxygen countdown mirrored the tension of the 2006 episode. While the real-life event ended in a catastrophic implosion, the parallels, a private, deep-sea mission in a small sub, technical failures, and a global media frenzy were too close for comfort. One of the show's writers, Mike Reiss, had even traveled on the Titan sub previously, highlighting the thin line between Springfield's fiction and the high-risk reality of modern exploration. As we move toward 2026, the show's predictions are turning toward the breakdown of the digital and physical divide. In Itchy and Scratchy Land, 1994, robots programmed for entertainment malfunctioned and attacked their creators, a theme that feels increasingly relevant as AI becomes integrated into every facet of life, from autonomous vehicles to automated policing. Furthermore, the show's long-standing focus on resource scarcity, specifically the grease-banded black market of 1998, which became a real $75 million a year crime industry by the 2010s, and Lisa's 1995 push for vegetarianism in the face of environmental collapse, paints a picture of a world reaching its breaking point. The Simpsons has always been a mirror. In the 90s, it was a funhouse mirror that made us laugh at our distortions. In 2025, that mirror has become a window. The warnings about virtual reality addiction, the loss of privacy, and the volatility of the global economy are no longer subplots. They are the lead stories on the nightly news. The writers may claim it's just comedy, but as we look toward 2026, we might want to pay closer attention to the jokes, because in Springfield, the punchline is almost always the future.